So tell me why you think CFOs should not be overseeing IT and cybersecurity in hospitals.
Sure. The issue with CFOs is that typically CFOs are more concerned about cost containment, whereas the Chief Information Officer's job is to look towards the future. Mm-hmm. So future means strategy. That means investments. And investments, not only just technology, but also in people, because people are not expenses. And many CFOs tend to look at people as expenses. And so a layoff might actually reduce expenses big time. But what a layoff does is that it immediately kills innovation and loyalty to the organization. And
the remaining people then are scared for their own jobs.
The remaining people are scared.
Yeah.
In the meantime, you have just laid off your intellectual capital, because what am I hiring when I'm hiring an individual? I'm hiring that person's brain and the future innovation and productivity potential. And so when I bring that person in, there's a lot of investments that go into that person. It's a lot easier and better to keep the people, the brains of your organization, because they are going to grow valuable over time. So anything that grows more valuable over time can never be an expense. They have to be an asset. And so that's the biggest difference between a CFO kind of mentality and thinking and a CIO kind of mentality and thinking. Typically, the best organizations have their chief information officers reporting to the chief executive officers. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, in some organizations, the chief information officers may be better equipped to be the chief executive officer, because if you really think about it, today everything is about digital strategy. Okay? And most chief information officers are very good at digital strategy because they do understand the business. Because without understanding the business, you could never be a chief information officer. Every organization where I served as a chief information officer, I knew the business. I knew the whole organization, where they were headed, how to move it forward. So for example, in healthcare, what's going on with healthcare? Electronic health records, health information exchanges, health insurance exchanges, analytics, data, quality, improvement of care, patient engagement, you name it. Everything is tied to digital strategy.
Yeah.
So if I am running that organization through a financial lens, that's not going to be a progressive organization. It's going to be a very regressive organization. And that's the key. That's the biggest reason why CFOs should not be running IT strategy. In 2013, what I did was I did a doctoral study. I did a survey of all healthcare organizations in the United States. And what I found was that 50% of U.S. healthcare organizations are running their IT and cybersecurity strategy through the chief financial officer, chief administrative officer, chief operating officer, you name it.
The money people. The money people, not the strategy people. Yeah.
And that is deadly. And that's when I said, oh my God, I have to do something about it, which is why I have been, since that time, writing and speaking passionately about this, because this needs to change.